So let's see what she says.
So the reason why is because registered dietitian, school for 6 years, studying nutrition, weights, all the stuff.
Registered dietitian. So let me talk about this. This is the freaking problem. We have registered dietitians that don't understand health.
So I've got a condition called macromastia. It means that my breasts will just continuously keep growing. So growing up, I wasn't ever fat. I have large breasts. I've got a condition, basically. I know you're laughing.
I'm laughing because that would be my dream. That's the only reason I'm laughing. I was like, poor you.
She's considered overweight because she has large knockers, right? And I think she's secretly proud of them. Honestly, it doesn't seem like she's actually ashamed of them. Otherwise, she'd probably be wearing like a hoodie or something. Like, her face doesn't look that bad. And this is a big thing too, is where you store your fat. It can make it even worse. So honestly, the people that don't look that fat can have tons of fat in their like visceral, around their organs and stuff. And that's the worst kind of fat. So in a way, these people that can get so obese and totally just, 600-pound life, their body is actually like coping with it better, because some people can be less fat than this girl on the right and be more unhealthy.
So the BMI, I've heard people use the word obese.
Okay.
So what is your thought on this oversimplification? I think actually the medical industry and a lot of health professionals have oversimplified.
I'm sorry if that's happened to you. I think you're seeing the wrong people. I know a lot of really good people.
But that's also privilege. Of course you know a lot of good people. You're a rich white woman who's been on television.
Bruh. These people, they're trying to change the world, right? Because someone doesn't believe that they can change themselves at a fundamental level, right? And, I get it. That I'm not even trying to take a shot at these people because they believe that they can't change themselves. So they change society, right? Like, I'm just being honest, because changing yourself is freaking hard, like brutally hard. And it's so much easier to just say, well, the system is broken. Beauty standards are toxic, or health is subjective, right? It's so much easier to say all of these external things than to wake up every day and really kind of go to war with your habits, is what it takes for a little bit at the beginning. And, the thing that no one really wants to say out loud is this movement, this fat acceptance or body positivity movement, becomes misery loves company. Because the moment that someone actually does change, they lose the weight, they build that muscle, they look better, they take control of their life, finally, suddenly they're outcast and labeled within that group as problematic. Suddenly they left the community. No, that's not it at all. Their body, now transformed to fit, they want to be accepted just like everybody else. But because they, of course, changed in that way that takes work and, really takes them stop being a victim, people say they left the identity or they left the cause altogether. And that makes people uncomfortable. And, these people don't deal well with discomfort. We know. And it reinforces the question to them mentally, subconsciously. If they could do it, then why can't I? Now, look, I agree with part of the body positivity movement. I think that we should accept our bodies as individuals. We shouldn't hate ourselves into change. I don't think that's the way to do it for the long term. We shouldn't even bully people into being better as we see it. And, that's not what a lot of people are pushing back against. Like, these people coming at the fat acceptance or body positivity movement, they're not arguing about accepting oneself. People are pushing back against the idea of this healthy at any size BS, right? Because when it comes to body fat, it's not reality. The healthy at any size, it's not real science. They're not getting into the real thing that this means, right? It's not the physiology. And it's just not how the human body works when you have tons of fat and that's your justification for being fat, right? This is not even an attack on fat people at the end of the day, because I myself, I've experienced the flip side too, to bring my individual story in this, right? The glaring truth in my experience is when I got in shape, I actually got judged for my body more than ever, not less. When I was fat, people didn't care. I had to be the one that cared about myself. And most of what I thought people judged me about when I was chubby was actually my own internal thoughts, instead of people actually judging me when I was fat. And, I was different back then. I was a lot more quiet, a lot more passive. So, my just personality was a little bit different, my temperament. But I was also more like silently bitter. So when I actually got fit, people were making real hate comments or just snide comments in general, like in real life and on the internet, like here and there. People were, doing side glances and, shooting bad looks and, just off color comments. And when I overcame my own envy and insecurity, I healed a lot, just internally. And I could tell that anyone hating on my more muscular, athletic build was experiencing how I felt. They were projecting their own insecurity onto me, because I did that too when I was fat and I would see my brother go to the gym or my mom. And yeah, man, body positivity absolutely goes both ways. You don't get to say, accept all bodies, but then resent the ones that require discipline to build, right? And attraction. Let's talk about attraction, because this is a big thing. So let's just be real. Humans are ultimately wired towards novelty. Some people even do chubbier or even really fat physiques. That's true, because it's exotic, it's novel. But when most people become overweight, then that stops being a unique novelty and it starts being that baseline again, right? And then what happens when everyone becomes fat? Then nothing is novel in that same realm. So attraction shifts towards what is novel, what is exotic again. So it swings back towards the lean, strong, athletic bodies, and that becomes more attractive. Whether it's socially acceptable to say that or not, internally, that's what people are going to go for. Because now those fit people and those fit bodies are rare again. And then we go to the other extreme, even the whole Ozempic look. That, of course, people lose weight, but they lose a lot of the muscle as well through that same weight loss phase. And now they look fragile and emaciated, and a lot of people are judging those people. And, the real issue, this is what no one wants to talk about, is that muscle is not just aesthetic. It's a health organ. It's probably the best investment you could make. And, it regulates your metabolism. It protects you as you age. It literally keeps you alive longer to have more muscle mass on your frame. It literally helps you burn fat at rest. While I'm sitting here, the fact that I have substantial muscle is helping me burn body fat. It's the only kind of good weight on your body that you could modulate, right? So if we're talking about true health at the end of the day, we cannot just talk about that weight, right? Weight in general, blanket statement. Because as you could see, this is where the conversation gets completely broken and where they were talking past each other. Because people keep saying weight loss, BMI is flawed, healthy at any weight, right? And yeah, like I mentioned, the BMI does have limitations, and it is flawed for athletes, for bodybuilders, for powerlifters, because what actually matters for health is what is that weight made of. Because we can't keep pretending that losing 20 pounds of muscle is the same thing as losing 20 pounds of fat. We know what is truly unhealthy. And if you're losing a lot of fat, that's going to be good. If you're losing muscle, that's not good. That's the worst thing that could probably happen. So the issue has never been just weight that you need to lose, right? It's the excess body fat. That is exactly what drives disease. And that's, it's driving inflammation, it's wrecking your hormones, and that's where everything really just gets deeper for all these people, because they're not talking about putting on muscle mass, right? This is something that's like psychological underneath everything, all of their arguments. It's more often than not tied to their upbringing when it comes to shame, guilt, and control. There are people out there who were abused, and some people, they use overeating and gaining body fat as a way to cope or offer protection from being abused again. And it's sad. And they subconsciously think, if I'm not attractive, then I'm safe. So they continue to eat, and it's a comfort mechanism. And this is all subconscious usually too. So there's people too who grow up like very controlled, like this last lady that we saw, and food becomes a way to rebel, right? That was me too, to a small degree. The second I had freedom to eat whatever I wanted, my own money, my own car, like no rules, I went all in. Like I was eating Taco Bell or like Cafe Rio like 2 to 3 times a day, the huge burritos with cheese and salsa on top, right? Starting my day with convenience store candy, like sugary energy drinks, soda, Reese's cups. Man, weekends for me were just full of alcohol, beer, even sugary alcohol drinks, junk food, pizza, that had yellow grease oozing through the entire bread. I ate all this crap for years, not because I was hungry, but because I finally could. And I wasn't even that deprived as a kid. I wasn't put on a diet at 6. So you layer that on top of just the fact that ultra processed foods in modern life, they're literally engineered to hijack your brain. So you're not just weak for craving this food all the time and these treats. All these treats are designed to make you crave it. So now you've got that emotional wiring plus that biological addiction. And we're surprised, people are struggling. Like so many people are fat and overweight now. We shouldn't be surprised at all. But we have to draw the line, because when it comes to understanding all of this, you have to realize that it's not the same as enabling this behavior. Because at some point, body positivity and this entire movement stopped meaning accept yourself, and it started meaning don't change anything. That's what a lot of these people got stuck into their head. But when it comes to real self-love, it's not a passive thing that you do. Self-love, it's not mindless self-indulgence. It's not do whatever feels good in the moment. Real body positivity is doing what is positive for your body. That's the difference. Even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. And even when it sucks for some people to go to the gym until, they have that shift. It sucks eating, and cooking your own meals that are healthier, right? Every part of you wants that easy option, and I get that. But we have to be honest with ourselves, when it comes to even just walking through a grocery store and getting those foods to cook at home, or hell, even carting yourself on a motorized scooter through Walmart to make the right choices. It's hard. It's like if they made all of the drugs in the entire world legal, ultra processed foods everywhere, sugar everywhere, hyper palatable garbage everywhere. It's like walking through a world where just every drug is available 24/7. And that's how the food landscape really is. And some people out there can take it or leave it. and enjoy like a Reese's cup like recreationally and just eat one. But some people, including myself, they can get consumed by this addiction towards, this high drive towards food and hyper-palatable treats and just fast food and all this junk, man. That's the difference. Some people are freaking addicts towards this shit. Some people can just eat a little bit. Other people, food eats their entire life. Like the food eats their life, right? It becomes all you think about. It becomes the main thing that you have motivation for to wake up in the morning. That's how I lived. I know the feeling. And that was my life. And that was my life at the worst point. I can tell you now. So realize this video and just everything I've said today, this isn't about hating people. It's not about shaming people either, right? This isn't about saying you're worthless if you're overweight. It's the complete opposite. It's saying that you're capable of more than you think. You're not stuck. You're not broken overall. You're not a victim. Everyone thinks they're a victim, but you don't have to be a victim of your body and mind forever, because it's both, right? You do have to take the responsibility at some point. You have to be an adult about this, because nobody is coming to save you from your own habits. No social justice movement, no ideology, no silly like TikTok hashtag is going to make you ultimately actually feel better about yourself. And at the end of the day, this isn't about body positivity. It's really just about, are you going to do what's actually positive for your body? That's the mindset shift that these people don't seem to understand yet. Self-love, of course, isn't that like self-indulgence, as in like overconsumption, self-hating, capitalistic pay pig. True love, or true self-love, is doing the deep work to do what it actually takes to show that you love your body by actually treating it right. And anyone telling you otherwise is just enabling your addiction, because that's what it is. They're enabling your victim mindset, and you're happy about that. Miserable people out there, they love your additional company to validate them for their unwillingness to actually love themselves. Like, let me say that again. Miserable people love your company to overshadow their unwillingness to truly love themselves. That's what it's come down to. And that's why these movements get such validation and reinforcement, especially online where it's easy to fake it, right? Because these people are always seeking external validation before anything else. And the reason why is because they're trying to drown out the lack of validation they have for themselves in the state they're in on the inside. And honestly, when they do, and they do try sometimes and they fail, you can't really blame them because of how bad the diet and fitness advice is out there. There's a lot of pitfalls. And more often, what I see is it comes down to the unwillingness to be responsible. And that's the make or break for most people. And that has to be faced, before someone hits that rock bottom to truly motivate them or realize that their choices are shortening their life. There's always going to be a rock bottom or a breaking point for a lot of these people. That's what it took for me. But we have to hope that it doesn't end with them losing their life to their addiction. So, show positivity and understanding to all these people. And I'm going to say it again. Most of these people in the fitness community are the most positive and helpful people in the entire freaking world. And, these fat people don't need to aspire to be a twig. That's what a lot of them think. They can build that proportional muscle mass and have it replace some fat to stay healthy and strong. Building muscle, I've seen is not only an antidote to like the anorexic women and guys out there, but building muscle is also the antidote to obesity and enjoying life in moderation. That's how I live life. That's why I love it. So ladies, go out there, build that butt. And men, go out there and build some biceps. You know, the only thing that can come from it is good. I promise. That's all I want to mention. When it comes to this nuance with the BMI crap and the healthy in any weight, the big determinant is muscle mass and how your body stores fat. That's the only reason that makes this healthy in any size argument make any sense. But none of these body positivity people are telling you to build more muscle instead. That's it. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.